So in 1 Thessalonians 5:5, as it's written, ye are the children of light and the children of the day. We are not of the night nor of darkness. So the darkness goes into being, absent from the light, which goes into that cold. You see, they know that light of God is spreading, so they're trying to fight and counteract against it. In Isaiah 1:18, come now and let us reason together, saith the Lord. Though your sins be as scarlet, they should be white as snow. Though they be red like crimson, they should be as wool. So, they're being purified from being covered in sin to becoming white as snow and purified. So all of that's, it's a lot of stuff symbolically that's going on right now. The purification, becoming white as snow. You know what I'm saying? And it goes on their side of them trying to block out the sun of righteousness. They want to eclipse the sun. That's why you have the behemoth, that elephant demon in hell that want to cook up souls all day. That's why Sub-Zero become the woolly mammoth, because the woolly mammoth in allegory, it just goes to nothing but that behemoth demon. So that's why Sub-Zero become the woolly mammoth, wanting to kill people with his tusk, destroy souls. And as you can see, you can look behind the woolly mammoth, notice it's a destroyed building. They don't want the house of the Lord built. They want to keep people in the darkness. That's why Cardi B album, if you really look at the shoe of Cardi B, Cara, you got the Cardi B, you look at the shoe, zoom in on it, kind of remind you of the Masonic structure, the Royal Arch. And then notice that's the hill, because the hill goes into Zion, the city on the hill. And you see being covered in red, they want everybody covered up. They know that the blood of Christ covers the whole earth, but they want to use it, for their own power, lead their own blood trails, be their own gods, stay covered in sin. And, the crows, it's a duality, but in this sense, the crow, goes into the whole thing with that symbol of death as well. And then, the crow as well, when it's a flock of them, it's called murder. They call a flock of crows murder. So the flock of crows going to murder. And then obviously this is a whole different allegory right here, but just still the same symbology. The Minnesota state flag. I'm gonna delve into the whole thing with the Renee Good and all of that symbology of everything that's going on with ICE and everything that I said would be happening. So with Minnesota, you see the state flag seal. You got the wheat, like the tares right there. If you pay attention to that, remember the parable of the wheat and tares. Those who are wheat are of the bread of life, but those who are tares, they look like wheat, but they're the ones that'll be siphoned out. You know what I mean, and cast into the fire. So you see how all of that stuff goes. Those who are lukewarm. God separating the evil from the good, the righteous from the unclean, the righteous from the wicked, and the unclean from the clean, being separated. You see what I'm saying? The wheat and the tare parable. So then you see right beside it, right in front of that, it got the North Star. I'm getting to that because, Christ is the morning star, and then Lucifer is the son of the morning. He's the false morning star. You see what I'm saying? There's so much duality in everything, And then you can see the hills right there, like the altars of the Lord in front of it. So in that day, there should be an altar to the Lord in the midst of the land of Egypt, and a pillar at the border thereof to the Lord, and it should be for a sign and for witness unto the Lord of hosts, which are a shadow of things to come, but the body is of Christ. The top of the altar is measured at 76 degrees. The altars stand 5,776 inches, 5 for the 5th day, 7 for the 7th month, July, and then 76 for the 1976 birth year, July 5th, 1976. That's what they've been trying to hide. So you see how you got let's look at it again.